Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. This is our first roundtable for 2019. Happy New Year to all of you. 1Mby1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. And by definition, we are not trying to fund with venture capital 1 million companies. That is not a reasonable proposition. Our whole premise of this platform was based on the observation that over 99% of the entrepreneurs who are seeking venture capital are getting rejected, and then they're getting discouraged and confused. So our take is that with or without venture capital, you can still build a successful company. We do have companies within our portfolio that are building companies with outside capital, but also we have lots of bootstrap companies. So we believe entrepreneurship equals customers, revenues, and profits. Financing is optional, and exit is optional. So with that, this is our 426th 1 Million by 1 Million Roundtable. It's been going on since 2008, so over 10 years. And the event is being recorded. Every single recording of our prior session is available on YouTube on the channel 1M1M Roundtables. You can follow us on Twitter at 1Mby1M and at Romana. If you're live tweeting the show today, please use hashtag 1M1M. These are conference dial-in instructions. We first have a few pitches from entrepreneurs, and then we are going to go to open Q&A. We will have time today for open Q&A, and I do want to hear from all of you. It is a roundtable, not a broadcast, so please do plan on participating in whatever way you feel like. The other way to participate is to use the public chat. Be sure to set your chat to send to all participants, and then you would be able to dialogue with the room, everybody in the room here. Now, let me set some expectations before we begin the entrepreneur pitch session. This is a safe working session. We are here to help you, and that is the only purpose. There is no other agenda of, entertaining a world of people and increasing television ratings like Shark Tank and so forth, and we don't do any kind of gratuitous humiliation or anything. It's a pure cut and dry discussion of business strategy. It's a working session. So feel free to feel safe. Talk about your issues, and I will be as candid as possible in how you might be able to address those issues and accelerate your journey. That is the sole purpose of this session. Now, you may disagree with my feedback here today. That's fine. It's your venture. Ultimately, you are going to decide what you're going to do with this venture, how you're going to shepherd it, what strategy you're going to follow. So just listen to the feedback, process the feedback, think about the feedback. Remember one thing, though, and this is a fact. It's not non-negotiable fact. Not all businesses can raise money, and raising money doesn't guarantee success. We are going to start today with Prateeksha Satyamoorthy from Bangalore. Prateeksha, please unmute your line and tell us what you're working on.
Hi, I'm Prateeksha, and I'm from Bangalore. So I'm trying to work on a extended reality platform, basically for events such as conferences or, trade shows and things like that. So what we are trying to build is a virtual trade show where people can put up, details about their products and have a stall like they would have actually, in a physical trade show, but do it virtually at a reduced cost, and also be able to add how much ever information or contact details, etc. So anybody, ideally across the world can view their stall at any point of time, at any convenient time, and be able to interact with the business. So that is what we're trying to build. I've had 10 years of experience building all kinds of software from graphics to web and mobile. And now I am taking the step of, starting up. So this is what, I thought is interesting and will be, it could be game changing if it works. So that is what we're trying to build.
What have you done in terms of research on what's out there, what has been done before? This is a space actually I know quite well. That's why I'm asking you, have you investigated who has done what before?
Not very well, to be frank. I've not done extensive research. We actually thought of doing this because somebody actually expressed, when we attended a trade show ourselves, we came across people who are asking for various kind of, 360 videos or portals which could show how the factory is working, or even the event management company itself, they're like, we want a virtual, exhibition, expo kind of thing. So without doing extensive research, this is what, I did a cursory look, I think, online, but not an in-depth research.
So in that research, have you encountered the virtual events platform from On24?
No. I have not.
So that is the first product that you're going to need to research. I know this company very well.
Okay.
And I've known them for probably 10 years or more.
Oh.
This product was not very successful. And you need to investigate why it wasn't very successful. And one of the observations one of the experiences they've had is that events, like in-person physical events, conferences, conventions, trade shows, etc., are actually very popular because people like to travel on expense accounts. So there is, even though you could say that, the company would be saving so much money if there were a virtual event and so on and so forth. So it all makes sense theoretically, makes sense environmentally, it makes sense from a cost point of view, but it turns out that these conventions and trade shows are very popular expense account travel occasions once a year for most people, once or twice a year. And as a result, this virtual trade show thing has not really taken off. So now you should research all this and see what's the current, perspective in this industry. But this is something that I know has been the experience of On24, which was the leader in this market.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I guess I have to research these, competitors or already, existing companies then. So one of the other things also we wanted to do is basically do it for events, like augment events. When you would go to a conference, like when you're physically present there, there's some extra information that you would like to see, right? There was when in the trade show that I attended at the Bangalore Tech Summit, there was this person who was making some kind of fuel pellets, and he had a huge factory set up, and his business was setting up factories of this sort for anybody who wants to, own a factory making, fuel pellets. And so he wanted, some kind of a way to show what the factory looks like, what are the different stages of, production and things like that. And when I told him about 360 videos and how different people who attend the event can come there, and whoever's interested can enter a portal, a 360-degree video, and check out your factory right then and there, he seemed very interested in such a thing. And
So
what we
maybe
also,
the way to
yeah,
maybe the way to think about it, Prateeksha,
right.
is to think about enhancing the trade show experience as opposed to making it a trade show platform, virtual trade show platform. You could assume that there will be physical trade shows, and in physical trade shows and booths, people want to simulate what they have. They may want to show products in a high definition 360 view, virtual reality, augmented reality, etc. And then whatever collaterals you develop in that mode for these companies could also be used online as demos on websites and so forth. So it's maybe what you're talking about is going to end up not being so much a virtual event platform as more of a virtual reality demo platform that is used in different touch points.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because people might not, want to attend just a virtual event by themselves, and let's say 1,000, companies register for this virtual expo. It's difficult to navigate, maybe. So yeah, one of the things we had also developed for the summit we attended was some kind of a social wall where, everybody who takes pictures or puts comment for the particular trade show will be able to see it on a particular wall or a logo. Like when they scan that logo, everybody else's pictures and comments will appear. So it's like a social wall. So I think we have some ideas like that to enhance the experience of the trade show itself. And maybe that is the direction to go in.
Yeah. I would do some amount of repositioning, and even the validation needs to be worked at with that repositioning in mind, so that you can have a suite of products that are going to be more trade show enhancement products, and maybe giving the trade shows an online offline presence.
Right.
As opposed to replacing the entire trade show with a virtual trade show, which is not working really. People want to continue to meet virtually and use these as excuses to travel.
I see. Okay.
And it's fun, for people who like to do this. I personally don't like to do this, but a lot of people who don't travel otherwise, these are their only ways to travel the world. And trade shows usually happen at exotic places, at nice places, and so they get a chance to see that city or wherever it's happening, or that resort, and that's just very popular in business.
Okay. Yeah, I'll research more into this. Thanks. So, if you don't mind, could you go to slide number 4?
You have to tell me when to stop. I can keep advancing your slides.
Okay, slide number 4. I'm not able to see the WebEx, so...
Tell me, what is the title of the slide?
It says the solution value proposition.
Solution value proposition, yeah. That's the slide on our screen right now.
Okay. So one of the things, we thought we could offer, event organizers or even sponsors and other business is with this virtual reality or augmented reality that is going to be used, we could give them analytics, right, on how people interact with either their products or their stall, and how have people in general interacted with the rest of the businesses or companies present, and give people back analytics. And that we thought would be useful, and people would want that kind of data to make comparisons or get an idea.
I was on 21st premise as well, and that premise has worked. If they have repurposed their product, and their successful product is webcasting. So they do large events, online events in a webcasting mode. And for that, they do a lot of analytics. So yes, your premise is correct. People do want analytics, except you're going to have to find niches where you can reposition your solution as opposed to replacing the entire trade show.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Slide 5, please.
Yeah.
So we thought such a thing, such a solution could be useful for everybody who is going to use it, like the 4 parties involved in any kind of trade show or convention, event organizers and sponsors and businesses and attendees. And we thought that it'll be, the whole ecosystem will kind of benefit because of this.
So I would like you to focus on the businesses who want to exhibit at trade shows.
Okay.
Because if you take away the premise of this entire platform, the entire trade show happening on your platform to a augmentation of the trade show experience kind of positioning, then your client is the business who is going to be exhibiting at a trade show. So you're giving them a way to enhance their bang for the buck. And yes, there will be attendees using the product, and there will be, maybe other people using the product, but your core customer is the business who's going to exhibit at the trade show, and you tailor all your validation exercises, all your discussions. For now, after this call, what you should do is go line up discussions, validation discussions with 100 trade show exhibitors. So companies that exhibit at certain kinds of trade shows that you want to augment, especially ones that have all these, manufacturing type of products or whatever. I mean, wherever you think you can show off your technology the best, those kinds of trade shows, go talk to the event organizers, the trade show organizers, not trade show organizers, sorry, the trade show exhibitors, and see what their needs are and how your technology might be able to enhance their needs.
Okay. So suppose, the businesses are excited about this, but for some reason, the event organizers are not very supportive. Wouldn't that become a problem, or that's not something we should think of right now? And
I don't think it will become a problem, because what you do in a booth, how you display your stuff in a booth, event organizers, event management companies are not responsible for that. Exhibitors decide what's going to go in their booth and how they're going to show their booth off.
Okay.
I mean, if you need certain kinds of technologies that the event management companies need to provide so that the exhibitors can get maximum value out of your technology, that's a different issue. But if you can, I would avoid doing that. Having multiple customers is a problem. Having one single customer is good, because you know then whom you're selling to, whose problem you're solving, who's paying, who's buying, whose budget do you need to tailor your pricing model to. So in this case, the customer that you've identified is wrong. Event management company is not the customer. The customer is the trade show exhibitor.
Okay. All right. I thought the event organizer was the client, because one of them
because you
spoke
want to
to
do
me.
A trade show, virtual trade show, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
So
makes sense.
I'm going to your questions. How to reach out to the international market? LinkedIn is perfect, and LinkedIn's premium subscription gives you great search capabilities, and you can basically use LinkedIn to find the kinds of people that you're trying to reach. How many customers does one validate with before deciding to pursue? I believe in a B2B. This is a B2B solution. It's going to talk to 50 to 100 customers usually.
Oh, okay.
How long should any free trial be offered for? In this case, you're going to have to give it to them to use at one trade show and see how that goes, and then you can switch to a paid model. Are we building something too big? We've already discussed this. So.
Okay. And is Yeah, and India seems to be a very difficult market to get anybody to pay for anything, especially software. So should we not focus on India at all, and should we somehow try to reach out elsewhere?
Um, so the issue is that in India, the buying cycles, the purchase cycles are very long. People take a long time to decide. People take a long time to buy. So in general, what investors have decided is that they want to only fund companies that go for the global B2B. I'm talking about, not B2C. They're going to only fund companies that are going after a global market, which usually starts somewhere in North America. Even if you get some customers who are willing to buy and validate your product in India, that would help, because you still need to build the product. You need
Right.
to get the product validated and so forth. So
Okay.
I don't know. You're gonna need to talk to some people. So in your list of 100 customers, maybe put 10 Indian customers and see if you can talk to 10 Indian customers. And in any case, don't forget, there are a lot of multinationals, right, operating in India.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
you could go talk to the multinationals who do stuff in India. Like if there's a car trade show, for instance,
Right.
those are many of those companies are foreign companies, and maybe there is need and maybe there is willingness to spend. So you have to segment it a bit, and if that segment works, your best bet actually is then to do the validation with foreign companies, with multinationals in India, because that would be easier for you to work with in the beginning phase.
Okay.
In any case, from
good.
a validation point of view, it would be helpful, I think, for you to talk to as many people as you can. So start the learning process and then see where it goes.
Okay. Yeah.
Mark?
Okay. Yeah, great. Thanks. I think, those were all my questions.
Excellent. Good luck.
Yeah.
All right, Luther Laoin, you are next. Lagos, Nigeria. E-commerce platform for customized consumer products for Africa. Luther, are you on the call? Where is Luther? Should I skip over to the next person?
We heard Luther
Laura,
earlier. Yeah, just one moment. I'm trying to log back into WebEx.
Okay.
But I should be ready to go once I get in.
Okay. I'm going to move to your slides, Laura.
Sure.
All right, Laura Borland from Sunrise, Florida.
All right. Just one second. I'm waiting for the screen to come up. It's populating. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Sramana, for that introduction. So my name is Laura Borland, and I'm the president and co-founder of Vyllage, which is an app that I developed over the course of 3 years. Sramana, would you please go to the next slide? Yes, please. Thank you. So I want to tell you a little bit about Vyllage. So Vyllage is an app that connects vetted homeowners with people within their communities who are very nervous about having their packages left outside. So essentially, Vyllage is a network of homeowners who are vetted, who make money by allowing their home address to be used as a shipping address, while also by de facto acting as the neighborhood watch for package deliveries throughout their communities. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we started the Vyllage journey in 2015. We launched the app in late November 2018. We currently have apps, iOS and Android apps available for download. Vyllage is trademarked. the package receivers who are called villagers. That's also trademarked as well. And I had a provisional patent for the digital photographic proof of delivery. However, that lapsed. So I'm hoping to, gain enough funds within the next year to go ahead and, submit for a utility patent for that particular software. One other thing, too, is that Vyllage is not a job, it's a business. It's a turnkey micro-franchise in which homeowners can start their business for $14.95. So once they pass their background check, they are in business. They show up on the map. They are able to advertise their business. They set their hours of operation. They determine their capacity. They pretty much, I provide them with tools and a training manual so that they can, canvass their neighborhood and say, look, download this app. Don't have your stuff left outside. Use me. So
why do they need to use the app?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Why do they use? Well, what are they doing with the app? So I understand that you're recruiting people, and they're what functionality does the app provide?
All right, so it's twofold. For villagers, it allows for them to show up on a map showing how close they are to customers who would want to use that service. So instead of having it go to a UPS store or a FedEx store, this is shipper agnostic. So for instance, if you are, let's say, shopping on Amazon and you're not going to be home, but this is an expensive item and it's also time sensitive, you would open my app, you'd find a pre-screened homeowner or villager that is close by. You select that, and once they pay, once you estimate the size of your package and you pay for it, the $3.99 to $5.99 for the service, their full address comes up. And they use that villager's information to complete their shipment. Once that package comes in, there's a unique tracking code that's there, and that person who's waiting on that package receives digital proof of delivery. So they receive 2 photographs, one that shows the actual label with a Vyllage tracking code on it and the Vyllage location it belongs to. And then the second is a wide shot of what their package looks like or their delivery looks like to show the condition of it. And they have 48 hours to pick it up. So essentially, the platform, again, it's shipper agnostic, so it doesn't matter what comes into that neighborhood. Any delivery, Uber Eats, Grubhub, dry cleaner.
But here's a subtle question here. So
yes.
If I want my package not to come to my address but to this villager's address, I will have to go into my Amazon account and ship it to that address, right?
Right. So the idea is that while you're doing your Amazon purchase, so the billing information would still be yours, Sramana, but when you get to the shipping information, then you'd access my app and you'd get the information. Once you pay, their full address comes up and you use that information from my app to complete your Amazon purchase. It's very early right now, but our hope is that once we get the villager footprint wide enough that we can now look at future state to be included as a shipping option for retailers. One, it makes sense for them in the sense that there is a guaranteed person who's there to physically receive it, and there's also photographic proof of delivery. Because when let's say you have it shipped to a villager, Sramana, on your, when you're coming to pick it up, you have to sign that the photograph depicted here.
Got it. I understand what you're trying to do. The question that comes next, and I don't know if you want to go in sequence of your presentation. Maybe you should do your presentation and I'll hold my question for the moment.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I mentioned these 2 areas as our target markets. However, there's some future state ideas in which I have, and I'll share that with you shortly. For customers, the value add really is for anyone who shops online and experiences that nervousness of wondering whether or not their packages are going to be there when they get home. So it really is about that peace of mind thing. What can we do to ensure that, 1, I don't lose time with a missed delivery, a missed important delivery that requires a signature, or 2, that it's not left outside as a temptation for nefarious individuals. And the reason for that is that, almost a little over 70% of deliveries are made during the day when no one is home. And the last metric that we had from the major courier companies, which was 3 years ago, is that 23 million packages are reported stolen every year. Well, can I tell you there are 45 million packages that are delivered every day in the U.S. So, you know, again, we just expect that this kind of petty theft will continue to see an uptick year over year. And also, we're kind of moving away from the idea of Vyllage is really to utilize homeowners. And the reason for that is that the current alternative delivery locations, you know, the FedEx stores, you know, the UPS stores, are often not very convenient for someone versus, let's say, someone who lives 2 doors down from you. You get home in the evening, you're walking the dog, you go and pick up your package, and there's also that de facto communication that takes place, and again, using technology to foster community. For villagers, this is a turnkey business, essentially bringing a micro-franchise concept to the United States. So, again, villagers have full autonomy over their location. Again, they get to name their location, so it's Vyllage at 1Mby1M. You know, they can set their hours of operation. They determine, you know, what size they're prepared to, you know, package they want to receive, so they can receive something as large as a television, or they might just opt to just have smaller packages. Just, you know, thinking about places like New York where apartments are kind of tiny and, you know, capacity constraints are there. And then, yeah, and the good thing about it, too, is that it doesn't require anything in terms of, you know, you don't have to buy a car, you don't have to, you know, get any tools. It can just simply be a bookcase or a table in your home, and you're in business and you're good to go. But future state in terms of target market is really to reach out to retailers and offer the software as a service. So the digital photographic proof of delivery is something that can be used for loss mitigation for retailers. For instance, right now with Amazon, if you tell them that you have not received a package in good faith, they're sending you a new item. But how much of that is fraudulent? So this is one way of ensuring that packages are, when they're sent out, that they get to the right persons.
Good idea.
Thank you. And then, and so the user acquisition strategy. So we've
Do you have users currently?
Yes. So that screenshot that you're seeing right now are the villagers that signed up since we started. So I was fortunate to have a news story done, a local news story here in South Florida, like about a week after Thanksgiving. And from that, we got our first villagers. So it was really, you know, I could not have asked for anything better. It was an exclusive. It was, you know, really on this whole focus of, you know, thinking, you know, along the lines of a new gig and for people to earn money. So my hope is really, you know, to kind of take that momentum and to carry it forward into this year. You know,
now,
we've done
can I ask you something? Do you have any kind of model? So you have to acquire customers on 2 dimensions, right? You have to acquire the people who are going to receive the packages, and then you're going to have to acquire the people who are going to divert their packages to that person. So each person that you acquire as a distributor is going to have to have a whole community of a whole neighborhood of people who are using them. So that actually there is an interesting, every time you acquire a person in a particular neighborhood, you could have that person go and advertise and talk about the service on next door, which has pretty good coverage. So have you done that?
Yes, that's part of the training manual that I provide. There's a welcome email that I send out along with just ways in which they can grow their business. So I provide them not only with the logos that they can use, so they can, let's say, create a magnetic sign that they could put on their mailbox, right? Because that, you know, with a V logo. So that it becomes one of those things that over time people are like, oh, wow, okay, Vyllage, kind of like how Uber does it or Lyft. And their tools, I also provided them with pretty much all Vyllage, like photographs they can use to create their own circulars. some wording that they can use when reaching out to their communities. And really the value proposition of saying, look, anything that rolls into this neighborhood, please do not even think about like having that left outside. If you're ordering groceries online and, Walmart is going to be delivering it, have it sent here. It's, it's a temperature controlled environment. It's only, $3 to $5 for the service. So bring it here.
A temperature controlled environment. Who has a temperature controlled environment where you put, depends, right? People don't necessarily have some temperature controlled environments to put stuff in bulk.
So true. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I'm speaking about like South Florida. Every home here is air conditioned. It's just one of those things, right? As opposed to having it sit outside in a sweltering, 85 degrees, where there might be perishable items or things like flowers.
Anyway, you need to fine tune all that. But let's say you can, once you get a villager, or like maybe is villager the distributor or is villager the person who diverts package? Huh?
Villagers are package receivers, so there's no distribution that happens in terms of.
Okay, fine. So villager, let's say once you acquire a villager, you can conceivably acquire the neighborhood's packages through next door. That's a reasonable hypothesis. I think you still have to validate that. So how many villagers have you acquired so far?
I have 40, and they're all clustered in South Florida. And I have a few who are in the pipeline going through background right now. Okay.
Now, in that pool, how much do you expect people to be making? Each villager, how much do you expect them to be earning by providing this service?
Well, I'll share with you, I'm doing this very conservatively, and this was just based on the community in which I live and where I lived previously and conversations I've had and just through observation. So on a daily basis where I live, it's a relatively small community, but FedEx makes at least 30 deliveries here, UPS somewhere in the neighborhood of 50, and that excludes FedEx Ground, DHL, Uber Eats, all of those.
You're talking daily?
Daily.
Okay.
So each one of those packages, and I think if you go to the next slide, I might be able to speak a little bit more on that. There you go. So each one of those boxes represents $3 to $5 of revenue for a homeowner, for a villager. So if they're marketing this service and constantly, reminding their community to do so, right? Don't have that stuff left outside. Make sure you send it here. Let me protect it. It would not be inconceivable for a homeowner to have a minimum of 10 packages a day or 10 deliveries sent to their home.
10 packages of a day in the high end is $50 a day, and $50 a day, let's say about that. So $1,500 a month is what you are showing as the potential earning for a $1,500. Is that a reasonable amount that you're projecting? Because you think about it, you keep using the Uber analogy. One of the reasons Uber took off is because there's a whole class of people for whom Uber became their livelihood.
Of course. But when we're thinking of the villager model, and I'll share with you who we initially were thinking would do it. Initially, it started off where, Sean and I, who's also a co-founder, we're getting ready one morning, and, we saw one more news footage of someone's package being stolen. And the idea was, I was saying to him, wouldn't it be great if we had like a neighbor that we could send, who would receive our packages?
I got that. We got all that. So what is the demographic? Who is going to become a villager? A homemaker, usually.
Anyone who's home today.
To be at home all day long.
So think about people who are retired, caregivers, people who homeschool their children, people who are familiar with the gig economy, people who, let's say, are pursuing a degree online, virtual employees, people who are generally home in the day when those packages are coming through. And the tools in the app allow them to know how many packages they're expecting on a daily basis. So once their address is generated, they get notified as to, what's coming, who is it coming for, and when an estimated date of delivery.
Right. Okay, got it. So, and now tell me about your business model. You're talking about a villager application fee, which is a one-time charge. Then you have a background check fee of about $5. So altogether, per villager recruitment, you're making $20. Is there any other fee that you're collecting?
Okay, so for each villager, I make $10. Village makes $10, and the background company, to your point, makes $4.95, and that's a one-time.
I see. So, but besides that, you don't make any other revenue from these people?
From villagers, no, but from usage of the village address, every time an address is generated, I make 99 cents on my platform. So the $3.99 to $4.99 and the $5.99 is the cost to generate an address, and that's based on the size of the package that is expected. So small being $3.99, $4.99 for medium, and $5.99 for large. Village makes a flat 99 cents, and the rest of the revenue goes to that villager.
Okay. All right. Good. I think this is a very good idea. So where are you right now? Just
trudging through and trying to make connections in the press to get more exposure. Ultimately, if we're looking for, here's the deal, Sarmana, if I could find a strategic investor who, could provide us with that kind of ad buy that would get us, I don't know if you've been seeing that Uber ad that's out there. There's one for Lyft as well. And there's one for Turo in which it just kind of tells you a little bit about the business, and, you kind of get the feeling that, okay, well, people can kind of make money here, and, it requires like this whole community thing. That is, definitely an area of focus for us. But otherwise, I'm just going through, as I alluded to earlier, this is entirely bootstrapped. We took this, everything, intellectual property, all of it. We did by ourselves, and, it took us 3 years of...
I think you should keep bootstrapping and start creating, the slide deck that you have right now is not a funding deck, right? You need to learn how to create a financing pitch and so forth. And if you need help with learning that, you can use 1Mby1M to learn all that.
Okay.
You can also use the 1Mby1M network for investment and all of that. But I think the most important thing is what you're doing is building the business and validating the business that people are willing to use it. And if you can close the loop of these 40 villages that you have recruited, and you can show fully that these people are able to get their neighborhoods to use their service, and they're able to use Nextdoor and so on and so forth, and acquire sizable numbers of customers and generate sizable revenues, then your value proposition is getting approved, and that's great.
Awesome.
So I think what you're doing is excellent. So it's a matter of figuring out how to put one foot before the other. So if you hang on, I will explain later on in the program.
Sure.
I think I need to work with Luther, and I'll explain how to use the program, and you're welcome to join the program. I'll be thrilled to help you. Okay.
Thanks, Ramana.
You're very welcome. Luther, you need to call in. Are you called in? Yes, you're called in. All right.
Yes, I'm in.
Go ahead.
All right. Thanks for this opportunity. My name is Luther. I'm CEO of Lucy.ng. So Lucy is basically an e-commerce platform for customized consumer products. And we started out in Nigeria, hoping to spread out to Africa, the rest of Africa. So I'll just give a background of how the idea came about. In Nigeria and across Africa, we have a culture of gifting, like for weddings and parties and all that. The celebrant usually gives out gift items, branded gift items. It could be plates, pots, different things to people, to guests who come for the event. So it happened such that it was my mom's birthday, and we had to do the same thing. And it was on me to get this item. So I had to go to the market, which is a very, very busy place and all that. So could you move on to slide 2, please? Because what I'm saying right now is, so most of the markets are rough. They are, it's an ugly user experience. There's logistic hustle. You also, after buying the products, you have to look for vendors who will brand the products for the events and all that. You have to take it home. So I went through that 2 times because my sister had another wedding, which I had to do the same thing. So by then, my friend and I came up with the idea of just making this e-commerce store because we saw the value proposition of making of the convenience convenience to customers, because these items are usually wholesale. Like, you have to buy a lot because you are giving the items to a lot of people. So we saw the value of convenience there. So we created a platform, and within a few days we got orders. So we grew that, and some weeks after that, we also found out that businesses needed the same thing. So businesses have events that they give out promotional items, or they have a product they want to push out by giving out promotional items and all that. So we also stocked that on Lucy, and it took off. And from then, we've grown to, next slide, please. Yeah, so, okay, this is where I explain that, we actually serve like two customer sets, which is the B2C and the B2B. The B2C being individuals. Those are bride-to-be, the bride's mother, people like that who want those products. Yeah, so, and the same thing for B2C. Yeah, so we did that, and next slide, please. Yeah, so we usually, our main way of acquiring customers has been through Google search. We made sure that while building the product, we did a lot of work on our SEO. So most of the orders that we've gotten from different individuals and businesses has been through the fact that they searched us. So we also do some trade shows. We go for exhibitions and all that. And we are seeing our revenue grow almost to $1 million now. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we've validated this we're about 3 years old. We're about 2.5 years old, actually. And we've sold over 1 million products because, every customer buys wholesale. And our GMV is close to $1 million now. The average order value of our B2B is about $1,300, and for our B2C is about $115 to $120. And we've served quite a number of companies, which include Google, which include Facebook. Facebook had a product launch in Nigeria, and they had to give out flash drives and some other items for people who attended. But we were the only ones who came up. We were the first, people who came up when they searched us for, vendors like that in Nigeria. And we've served other companies as well. So the next slide, which is the challenge I want to share with you, is basically raising funds. I think a lot of the focus by VCs now in Africa is basically agribusiness or fintech. They are not very open to e-commerce. So yeah, that's a challenge. But we've been bootstrapping since, and we are now profitable. So we are hoping to grow and do as much as we can until we find the right strategic.
I think your best bet is to continue to bootstrap. You're successfully bootstrapping, so congratulations, fantastic.
Thank you.
You should continue to bootstrap, and you can look for financing. There are probably some small possibilities of financing, not a lot. So you can't depend on financing being available. There are small pockets of financing available, but not a lot. So you're going to have to basically assume that your primary strategy is going to be bootstrapping.
Bootstrapping, yes. We've experienced that, so we think we are basically on that. We are putting back the money we make every year back into the business. Yeah. So that's our main strategy. Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to go to the explaining to you all how to use 1Mby1M, and then we can go to Q&A. We will have time for Q&A. You can ask questions by dialing in, or you can start asking questions in public chat as well. I will start picking up questions from public chat shortly. So in the meantime, I have one request for you. If you like what we are doing here in 1Mby1M, please refer serious entrepreneurs to the program. And the word serious, notice, is in bold. There are certain entrepreneurs who have very unrealistic expectations about, you know, how to build a business and what happens in the business building process. You know, we all pretty regularly we have experiences where entrepreneurs come in and throw a tantrum that we can't raise money for them right away, and they have no validation, nothing. So, you know, our take on all this is that raising money is not an easy thing to do. You have to have the parameters, the goods, the metrics in your business to be able to raise money. And then there are, you know, geographies like Africa, what we just talked about with Luther, where there isn't a lot of money available. So bootstrapping is a very important piece of strategy that we use constantly in our businesses, and we encourage our entrepreneurs to use in the businesses. So we want serious entrepreneurs who are realistic and understand what this business is all about, or at least are willing to try to understand what this business is all about, which we will be happy to teach you. But please don't come with unrealistic expectations. This program is not for you. If you're coming here expecting that we're going to raise money for you without any validation, without any, you know, you're going to be given $1 million or $5 million to start a business, that's just not how the industry works. So resource-wise, everything is at 1Mby1M.com. You can start reading our blog, which is chock full of learning material. Great role model case studies. Entrepreneur Journeys is a fantastic series where you learn from other entrepreneurs who have done it before. There are lots of thought leadership interviews, lots of market analysis, etc. You can also read the Entrepreneur Journeys book series. There are 12 volumes that we have published, and each of them double-click on a particular topic. You can learn lots of different topics of entrepreneurship through that book series. It's very reasonably priced, available on Amazon. These roundtables happen every week. Over 425 roundtables have already happened. Over 100,000 people have attended. So this has been a fixture in the entrepreneurship universe for over 10 years now. And you can continue to use it as your learning platform. Our full acceleration program is 1Mby1M Premium. And there we offer you extensive methodology guidance, a full online curriculum through which we teach you methodology. We help you with business development where we have contacts. Our contacts are available to all our premium members. We help you with strategy consulting. It's the same format as this, but we have private roundtables where we actually work on your project. So the combination of curriculum where you learn methodology and the roundtables where you get the strategy consulting, mentoring, coaching, whatever you call it, it's the in-person interactive coaching. That's very powerful and it's worked very well. We also help with financing. We have a tremendous network of investors, but with the caveat that investors invest in validated businesses, and that is a fact. It's an irrevocable fact. There's nothing we can do about it. That's the reality of the industry we're in. And then we have a lot of clout in the media. So if you're looking for media exposure, we can help you get media exposure through our platform. Now, I suggest you all go do the self-assessment that's on the 1Mby1M website and ask yourself these questions. These are questions that investors are going to ask you. You need to ask these questions of yourselves. Even if you're bootstrapping, these are the questions that will help you define your strategy. And if you get stuck at any point in answering those questions, go train yourself on methodology. 1Mby1M Basic is our curriculum-only option. It's all online, $99 a month. It costs nothing. You can train yourself massively by just using the basic curriculum. There's more than 300 hours worth of curriculum there. At the minimum, you should do the core curriculum, and then you can pick an elective or two that are relevant to your business. So dig around on the website. We describe very much in detail what the program is all about, what to expect from premium, what to expect from basic. We have FAQs, video FAQs, description, full description of the curriculum, and so on and so forth. The program is case study based. We have now close to 1,000 case studies of successful entrepreneurs who've done it before, and they have shared in great detail how they have managed to put one foot before the other. And the curriculum is based on those case studies, plus video lectures synthesizing the lessons. We have more than 50 unicorn case studies, probably about 400 plus venture-funded company case studies, another 400 plus bootstrap success stories. So it's a very comprehensive look at startup strategy. Our methodology is lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups. Our philosophy is bootstrap first, raise money later. Do not go to VCs as beggars, go as kings. And that is it. So we have roundtables every week this month. So feel free to come to any of the roundtables. If you need a slot to present, Maureen will schedule you for one of them. You need to go register on the website. We also have in-person rendezvous, 3 of them actually in January, 9th, 23rd, and 30th at Cafe Boroni in Menlo Park. So if you're in Silicon Valley or visiting Silicon Valley, please stop by. And I look forward to seeing you in person. That's it. We're ready for Q&A. You can call in or start asking questions in public chat, and I'll pick those questions up. Meanwhile, let me introduce you to Irina Patterson. If you have questions about our program, Irina will be happy to answer those questions. Her email is irina@1Mby1M.com. She'll be happy to talk to you on the phone as well, or Skype, whatever works for you. All right, questions, folks? Anybody? No questions? Nobody has questions?
It's actually Prateeksha.
Yes.
So you mentioned a company, 124. I didn't get the name correctly, I think.
On24, ON24.
Oh, on24. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was my first question. Yeah.
Anybody else? Any other questions? No? If nobody has any questions, then we're going to adjourn, and we're going to meet you back here, same place, next week, and continue on through another year of roundtables. And you are going to get back to making lots of progress with your ventures. Luther, it's very impressive what you've done from Africa, and I wish you all the luck in the world. And Laura, your idea is excellent. So I hope you're going to pursue it and flesh out the details. And Prateeksha, you need to do some repositioning, but again, worth exploring. All right. Thank you for coming today, folks. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.